Hello, in this video I'm going to go over computer science. We're going to talk about what we cover in the curriculum at Copthall School over a 5-year journey. So computer science in year 7 and 8 is mapped heavily towards preparing students towards studying computing or IT at GCSE. So we prepare students for some of the key elements that they need to know, and then that will help them if they decide to continue studying computing or IT in year 9 onwards. Then it really prepares students for by making sure that they have a good foundation knowledge. So these are the elements that we cover, and just to give you an example, what we cover in year 7, the different colours are the different strands. What we cover in year 7, we then build on that understanding in year 8. So for example, we might talk to students about 7.1 computer systems, and the 7 means like year 7, the first unit of that, and what we cover there is then built on in year 8. We then build on that understanding, and they have a better understanding of computer systems, so they relate to it. We find this strategy really useful because when we start to talk to students in year 9 and 10 about some of the aspects, they've already got a good foundation understanding, and they're able to relate to that learning as they're going through their 5-year journey. At Key Stage 4, we allow students to pick 2 different options, either IT or computer science, based on the elements of what they've covered during the each topic. They're able to distinguish and consider if they would like to pick a career in computing, or if they feel that they might want to study computing as part of their studies, and they might not want to continue it as a career option, but because they enjoy it, they might decide to pursue this aspect. So we talk to students about how the differences between IT and computer science, and students have a good understanding of both at this stage, so they're able to pick the difference between IT, which allows them to explore their creativity and consider how they can use software to create artistic visual effects, or to use software to analyze data, for example. But in both elements, there's a building an understanding of cybersecurity and cybercrime, because it's a growing area of need. And as we'll go through this presentation, we'll touch upon this again. But then we talk about computer science, about how computer systems can be used to solve real-world problems. So we help students understand about some of the healthcare robots, for example, where computer systems are being used in society right now to plug a gap in different areas of need as we explore with students. So they get to see that it's not so abstract, and it is something that is in every part of every industry going forward. So we really try to help students understand this element of STEM is really important. So we help students understand that computing has different elements and different career pathways. So we try to explore very analytical and critical thinking, but we also try to explore very creative elements as they go through. And we also look at how the visual effects on websites, for example, are one element where, based on the user's needs, it's really important to consider how a user can work through and look at menu systems, for example, to be able to navigate through. So we get students to understand that the amount of thought that's put into developing a customized screen, or developing something that's very easy to use and very user friendly, and they get to explore and be very critical about what's very good and what's not so useful at the same time. So students get to use video editing software as well as sound editing software to really try to help them understand the different elements of computing and IT. And this is an example of 3D design as well. Then we also look at case studies, and we help students. We tie this into business, and we tie this into marketing as well, and we help students understand that it's not something sometimes that's very complicated, but something very simple can be very successful at the same time. So we get students to understand about how much how the use of social media and something going viral can really have a very positive as well as a very negative aspect to the success of a product if they're trying to sell it. But one element we do touch on quite a lot as we're going through is about cybercrime, and it's because it's rising and it's on the increase so much that it's important at a young age students are starting to become very aware of some of the many different elements of cybercriminal activity that is now out there, and how to teach students at a young age to spot some of the possible scams that are available. And we bring it back to real world examples and help students understand that even if they're not looking to pursue a career in IT or computing, it's something that in every aspect, in every element, even for example the NHS has been very critically hit by just not having a strong awareness of some of the very simple dangers that are out there. So it can impact and affect every part of society and every walk of life. So it's really important students understand about how to be very much aware of these elements. So case studies like this really help students have a confidence and awareness of these elements. So I'm just going to show a very quick video that tries to promote and discuss how important computing is.
Whether you're trying to make a lot of money or whether you just want to change the world, computer programming is an incredibly empowering skill to learn.
I think if someone had told me that software is really about humanity, that it's really about helping people by using computer technology, it would have changed my outlook a lot earlier.
To be able to actually come up with an idea and then see it in your hands and then be able to press a button and have it be in millions of people's hands. I think we're the first generation in the world that's really ever had that kind of experience.
Just to think that you can start something in your college dorm room and you can have a set of people who haven't built a big company before come together and build something that 1 billion people use as part of their daily lives is just crazy to think about, right? It's humbling and it's amazing.
The programmers of tomorrow are the wizards of the future. You're going to look like you have magic powers compared to everybody else.
I think it's amazing. I think it's the closest thing we have to a superpower.
Great coders are today's rock stars. That's it.
So there's a real drive in trying to encourage students to pursue careers in computing because there's a very big skills shortage and a big skills gap, and that's why that's why some of those video productions are produced where they're really encouraging students to consider a career in computing, and mainly because there is such an element of there's a skills gap and a skills shortage out there where they can't fill all the positions that are available. And as we go forward in the next 10 years, this is only going to increase further. I also want to talk about another element of what we cover is we encourage students to explore and learn about how computing is in real life. And what we do is, as an extracurricular activity, we encourage students to take part in a cyber discovery competition, and it's a national competition where students are learning about elements of hacking and elements of cybersecurity way beyond what we would teach within the actual specification and national curriculum, but it really helps students think about how to solve problems and how to really pinpoint some, it's like solving a puzzle in many ways. So I'm just going to show a very quick video that will just go through some of the elements of this, but it's only a very small part of this that I'm going to show that just talks about it at the same time.
Cybersecurity is all about protecting modern technology. Bad guys and hackers are constantly looking for opportunities to break into businesses and steal data. perhaps even to break into your phone or your apps to find ways to profit. The opportunities are already great for the cybercriminals, but think about where technology's going next. Driverless cars, or perhaps you stepping onto an aeroplane that has much more technology the cybercriminals could target. Cybersecurity is about securing all of that.
Cybersecurity, well, to me, it's really important in a modern society that we have.
Because computers seem to be at the centre of everything we do in our daily lives, and our personal lives seem to be now moving ever more onto computers. It's about securing our data and making sure it doesn't get compromised.
I think it's very important, otherwise data would be accessible to absolutely everyone, whether it was private or not.
Cyber Discovery is an innovative program designed to introduce you to the fascinating world of cybersecurity and defeating hackers and criminals online. In the first stage of the program, CyberStart Assess, you'll figure out if you have what it takes to be a part of the cybersecurity profession by undertaking some fun challenges. In the second part of the program, CyberStart Game and Essentials, you'll get access to training material as well as the opportunity to play with the tools that we use in the real cybersecurity industry to defeat the bad guys. Finally, in CyberStart Compete and in CyberStart Elite, you'll get the opportunity to demonstrate the skills that you've mastered, as well as receiving training from world-class professionals.
So that's just a quick element of a quick breakdown of what the competition is about, and it's something we've competed in each year, and students have immensely found it quite interesting, and they benefited quite a lot in learning about real world techniques, and they can do this within their own homes, or they can do this at school, and they do this independently, and they work as part of a team as well, but they really enjoy learning about things at their own pace. So thank you for watching, and hopefully that gives you a better understanding of how computing is. We would have loved to have gone over some of the elements with you and to shown you some of the things we do in school, but as a virtual explanation, I hope this was quite beneficial at the same time. Thank you.